Hello there, and welcome to Women's Business.
My name is Dr. Marianne Shallcross Smith, known to most as Dr. Daycare, and this is my co-host, Amy Vogel. We'd like to welcome you to our mentoring program designed to educate our community on issues facing working women. We will be speaking to our guests in the areas art, sciences, health, education, law, medicine, politics, community service, military, and business.
The goal of the show is to provide information that comes only from personal experience and to pass this information down to our daughters, nieces, neighbors, family, and friends. Much of the content will relate to the guest speaker's journey in their profession, what they have learned most about this process, and what they wished they had known before this journey began. Since women-owned businesses are the fastest growing sector of our economy, my guests will close with what lesson they would like to pass on to the viewing audience.
Hello there and welcome to Women's Business. Today I would like to invite Diane Caine from Caine Coaching and Consulting and Leadership Development. You like to work more with emerging leaders?
Yes.
For what
absolutely.
reason? For what reason?
Well, I grew up, Mary, in the corporate world. So
Okay.
I started off on the phones and then moved my way up through supervisory positions into an executive leadership position. And what I found was we were really, really great at training when you first came in as a new employee, and then when you got into that meaty middle is what I like to call it.
Meaty middle. I
Meaty
like that.
middle.
I'm going to stick that in my head. Wow.
The meaty middle, where everything is happening on a day-to-day basis, there was not as much investment in development unless you did it yourself. And then at executive level, there's always executive training, that senior management level. You're getting more and more training. So that's why I like the emerging leaders niche, because that's where the impact is really happening.
That's where all the work gets done, right?
Yes.
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 And people
absolutely.
go into leadership, I need to tell you, pretty blind. You
Yep.
know, they up and up and up the ladder, but there's just so many skills to be learned. And one thing I will learn about Merchant, help me out here, is I find the number one block from my perspective of owning a business is when I work with leaders, and I love working with leaders, is when they don't want to supposedly throw anyone under the bus. How do you know, like all of a sudden one day they
Yes.
call and they're leading and like, oh my God, we have to let this employee go. She's been coming in late for 5 months. Like, and it's like that one time. And it's like, and I'm like, oh, why didn't you go to HR? I didn't want to throw her under the bus. Tell them how they're not throwing one under the bus. That's leader development.
Yes, yes. Communication and courageous conversations.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things that we talk about too is having that, the first thing that you need to do when you're leading somebody is making sure that you're touching their heart, that you're caring about that individual, because they are individuals.
Yes,
and,
they are.
and we have life outside of work. And so being able to, number one, connect with that person, but then number two, really having that courageous conversation about the behavior, separating the being from the behavior. And just having that conversation about when you're late 5 times or 6 times, or you're late every single day for 5 months, what that impact is on the rest of the team. Because sometimes people are unaware of, if I'm not
Absolutely.
here, what that burden is.
Do you find it difficult for many emerging leaders to differentiate between the personal and business? Because you connect with the heart with the person you're leading, but then when there is a behavior that's not meeting standards or policy and procedure, I think with emerging leaders, they have the difficulty of separating it out.
Yes, yes.
How do they overcome, like how do you get them to overcome that? Or any tactics or techniques to use?
I'm writing this all down, you know. Always in for a good
Part of
leadership.
if I can show by example, I think that would be
Absolutely,
easier.
yeah.
I had a conversation with one of, he was, I want to say 18, 20 years old, one of his first jobs. When I was working in call center, so it's entry level.
Yep.
First time that you're coming in, he was coming in late, he was coming in with kind of like a hot mess.
Yeah.
Or would leave early, would make excuses. And the first time I sat down and had the conversation with him, it was, tell me what's going on outside. Help me understand what's happening. And giving him the voice to have the conversation, to explain to me what was going on. There's usually a reason
Something,
behind
yes.
the behavior.
Absolutely.
And until you can actually decide or understand and make them feel comfortable enough to tell you what's going on, then you can't really have that conversation. So I start off there.
Thank you.
start off there and try and figure it out, and then work together from that. And then there's the accountability piece. There is the accountability piece, and really sticking to the behavior. So coming in 20 minutes late, 15 minutes late, coming in late every single day is unacceptable.
Yep.
And why it's unacceptable. And then giving opportunity to have that correction, but then having that follow-up.
Yes.
Having that follow-up conversation. And that's the hard part. And, putting it in a position where I'm here to help you be better. To be their advocate, and making sure that they're understanding that you really want their success. You're not there to be the disciplinarian and get them out the door. You want them to be successful.
And what did he share why he was late? What was his story?
He had a lot of stuff going on at home.
Okay.
He was between, he was still at home with his parents, but in transition. Had a lot of family issues that were going on. He actually had a cousin that was drug issues, emotional issues, and that was weighing on him. He was trying to take care of that
And
situation.
he's 18, 19, so
Yeah,
it weighs differently
big burden.
than 40, 50, 60, you know,
Right.
because you have different amount of years of life.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And I find a lot of the employees at that age too, sometimes depending on other people for rides to work.
Yes.
I hear that all the time, like whoever in their family did not get up, and that puts a lot of pressure on them. So I love what you said, listen to their story. But they still have to get there on time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
you still have to own your
yes,
behavior and
yeah.
own the responsibility with that. So
But
the
maybe for that
accountability.
moment in time that someone understood their story for like one moment in time, and the empathy is there, it might be a lot to make it happen. That's pretty cool. Thank you. Wow.
So you worked in corporate America.
Yes.
For how many years?
20 years.
20 years. And what, I'm sure it's kind of a big decision to go from corporate America, the benefits, the healthcare, all of that stuff, and say, okay, now I'm going to go on my own. What was the catalyst to do that for you?
I had a little help.
I did a song on that one.
I had a little help. After 20 years of being through acquisitions and mergers and doing the stack ranking and doing the analysis of, we have to do a reduction in force.
Yeah.
Inevitably, when things are getting tighter, we look at expenses and you have to do a reduction in force. And I was the person delivering the message for so
Wow.
many years.
It's a
And
big
then
message.
About 18 months ago, I was the one on the receiving end of the message.
Wow.
And for 2 years, I had wanted to go out on my own anyway. But like you said, it's the comfort of the salary, the benefits, the known versus the unknown. It was something that I had dreamed about doing, but wasn't courageous enough to do. So I got a little nudge out the door, and now it was the opportunity to do it.
Sometimes,
Well, so you opened that right up.
Yeah. Sometimes negative experience can turn to positive adventures,
Absolutely.
which is great.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, it's true. I think sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, it's the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. And then you look 3 years down the line, and you're like, oh my gosh, what I learned from that is amazing. And what I did from that is amazing. It's just how you react. I always say, if you can't be proactive, react well.
I like that.
Because
You're only doing this once, so you might as well enjoy it as much as you can.
Absolutely.
a friend of mine always says you got to be part of the solution. You got to be part of the solution. For like one day, just feel it, get it, and get on to the solution. Be part of the solution. So this gave you an opportunity to kind of go after your dream.
It did. It did.
Oh, wow.
And how's it going so far?
It is, of course, the shift.
Yes.
The shift from the employee to the entrepreneur, it was a
Huge.
bigger mind shift than I thought it was going to be. Because you have this expectation of, I've done this for 20 years and I know what I'm doing, and then understanding that it's a whole different skill set when you're shifting into that entrepreneur mindset. So that was really the biggest piece for me. But it's growing slowly but surely, and people are starting to, you become a marketer.
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
You're marketing
yeah.
yourself.
A marketer.
Oh, totally.
And
oh,
probably
yeah.
that was my biggest realization, and aha was like, oh, well, if people don't know me, they can't know about my services. And so
Yes.
getting over that hump of going, well, I can help you, and here's how I can help you.
Yeah.
Instead of that, oh my God, I have to sell something.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've had a lot of people around me to help me shift with that mindset and say, you do have skills, you do have opportunity, you have life experience that other people need to learn from, and you have that opportunity to help people.
And businesses need it. Sometimes if they take themselves out of that role and have someone else go into that role to train emerging leaders, It's not like the person who owns a company or runs a company I'm working with. I'm with someone in a consultant perspective, and sometimes you can take that employee from 1 to 10 in 2 months compared to step by step by step, because they're so scared they're going to say the wrong thing at the wrong time. And so yeah, I've throughout the years have had coaches and consultants come into my business and do that. Absolutely. So I know the worth of it. Absolutely, yeah. And where they can get employees, and the support system they give employees to is amazing. You really do that. Wow.
So over the years, who has been your mentor to help you go along your path and goals?
I've had so many.
Well, you can name a few. It's
I've
okay.
had so many. Well, first was my mom. She's always my parents, both of them. They have always told me, you can always do whatever it is that you want to do, and whatever you're going to do, just do it well.
Wow.
And go for it. Throughout my corporate career, I had a couple of women leaders that were there that were really helping me, especially with my last role. I made a big shift into something that I knew really, really well, and I was comfortable, and stepped up into the executive level. But when I stepped up, I also stepped over into something that I really didn't know about at all, and so it was like the dual learning experience. If I had just moved up into what I knew, it was going to be a smaller learning curve versus a bigger one. And so Sharon helped me a lot of times, give me the opportunity to be okay to make a mess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Screw
Make
it
a
up.
mess. I like that.
Learn.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And she was very good about saying, I'm going to teach you what I know because I've already fallen into this pit.
Yes.
And if I can help someone else avoid it, then
Yes.
I'm going to help you avoid it. And so that was a great gift to me, because I made sure that when I was moving forward and starting to develop other leaders that were with me, that I did the same thing, and I would make sure that I would have the conversation of.
But I think that's a good point. Is what you said is you learned from her past, let's say, mistakes.
Yes.
Some people, you tell them the mistake, but they still need to learn it on their own, because that's the way they learn.
Yes.
So it's
Somehow that's me. You can explain it to me, you can tell me, but no, I got to get down that path.
some people just need to feel it once or
get the feel of it.
other people can just learn from someone else's experience through osmosis. Other people need to
When
really
you turn
get in it.
60, you start listening even better. Your time on this end is like, okay, I really need not go down that path again.
Well,
Someone's already went down there and understood it and just listened to where they're at. So,
And how many times did you learn that what your mother was saying to you was right?
Yes, I'll admit that.
That's only because she has a daughter now.
Yes, you learn it differently when you have your own child. And I was like, I will never, I've learned in my life never to say never. And I just said it, but because every time I say never, I'm like, ooh. So I say, the possibility could be there. Who knows?
Yes. I like that.
So now the entrepreneur stage of your life, okay, that certainly is focused for you. Do you how'd you get your website out? Are you still doing that? Have you had to go through the whole checklist like what I'm doing now? I'm self-employed type of thing.
Yeah, so
How would that be for any of the listening audience if they really want to go into this path? Like what you really need to do? Are you sleeping at night? Like are you going to bed at 11, waking up at 4 and starting again?
Roughly, yes.
Yeah.
You used to sleep better, right?
Roughly. I do sleep well. I just pass out when I go to bed now.
Because you're exhausted.
I am, but it's a good exhausted. I'm with the John Maxwell team, so I've been very lucky that I have the support of the website was built for me.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and I can go in and I can go do the back pieces. The biggest pieces for me were, we're in such a social world, but people still want business cards and want brochures.
Yeah.
And it took me a good 12 months to finally put those two pieces together.
Yep.
So understanding what your services are, how to position your services, how you can help that person. Those two things were big for me, and the investment that it takes to do those things. I had a wonderful graphic designer help me design the logo, helped me put the brochure together.
Exciting, isn't it?
It is exciting.
Yeah, it's all your artwork there.
And
creativity.
invest in someone else who can do it better than you can, because you waste a lot of time.
100%.
A lot of time.
You got to really list your priorities and say, do I want to spend
Yes.
creating a website and a logo, or do I want to spend on getting clients and working with people? It's a lot of choices when you're in business. Lots and lots of choices,
Sometimes when you put the money up front in all of with the experts, the graphic design, you're actually saving money longer term.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Because you're working on what your niche is. Like, I know I'm not going to become a graphic designer, so I'm not going to try.
No, I know, and I can throw a PowerPoint together. I can do those
Yes.
things, but for the hours that it took, he took him 5 minutes to put
Exactly.
the picture together and make it look pretty. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to offload those things. It's about it is about
And
prioritization.
time. It's priority
Right.
and time.
Right.
And, and really get focused on where you want to be type of thing.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
It is, and one of the things that I'm really even just focusing on, because I just got back from being with the John Maxwell team. So we were at our International Maxwell certification.
nice.
Oh, where was that?
It was in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, fun.
It's
The
time to be
home
in
of
Orlando.
Mickey.
Oh, yes, the home of Mickey. It was, and it's a global conference. Literally, there are people from all over the world. We started off with 1,000 coaches when I certified back in 2012, and we've grown to over 20,000 across the
That's
globe in
amazing.
41 countries
Only
Wow.
in 6 years?
in 6 years.
Wow.
It's been explosive.
That's amazing.
It's how much it's needed.
Yes.
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 Because it wouldn't become that big unless there was a demand for it.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right. And one of the things that actually John was teaching us was around prioritizing our time. Are you going to manage your calendar, or someone else going to manage it for you? And he always teaches us the 3 R's, and really this has been my focus since I got back, was what's required of me, and only me. What's the only thing that I can do? What's the thing with the greatest return?
Okay.
And then what's the thing that's the greatest reward for you? And so I would find myself doing the comfortable, rewarding things because I like to learn and I like to spend time with people. But I wasn't spending enough time on the getting myself out there and really meeting with the people
Yeah.
and having those conversations. As much as I could offload some of those those other administrative tasks, networking is all me right now.
Yes, it is, yeah.
It's me.
Well,
it's
now you
making
have
those
us. Don't worry.
connections.
We're going to be part of your networking
We're
team.
expanding the network.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You're expanding, as of
Very
today,
important.
you have expanded network. I can't tell you how many women and business people I know out there. So you have now expanded.
Thank you.
And you're a member of the Northern Ireland Chamber.
I
It's a
am.
fantastic team of people. They are such wonderful networkers. You'll see
They
that in
are.
time. Yeah.
Leslie has been wonderful.
Oh, Leslie is amazing.
She's been
Pat,
awesome.
Leslie, Paul. Yeah.
Yes.
John,
John. John's everywhere.
John's everywhere. Like, when you see John, he's this big heart. I mean,
Yes.
he runs that business like it's his own. He really does.
It's
Like
his baby.
he is honestly, that is his baby, and he makes it happen.
He really does.
The ownership he has taken, and the pride, and the team, and the leader that he is. He's I can't say that for words about John from my perspective.
Well,
Just a good
and
man.
John was actually nominated. The John Maxwell team has a Transformational Leadership Award, and John was nominated as one of the people
wow.
last year. So
That's amazing.
we're excited, and those nominations will actually be opening up again in March. So, and we'll announce it in August.
Wonderful.
very
So
nice.
he was nominated.
actually I got an invitation, Leadership Rhode Island. He's going to get one of their awards too, I think. I think it's next month. Yeah, I just got the invitation from Leslie.
I think I saw
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's good.
So deserved for him, really.
And you were on the board, correct?
Yes, I'm still on the board. It's my last year on the board. And also, as a woman, I was the chairwoman of the. It's
Excellent.
exciting. Like you look at, you ever go into the conference room? Well, you
I
do
do.
because you were that for the, what they call it, the
Yes.
EC, I call it leads meeting.
Yes.
Rebecca's got it down. But you go in the boardroom and see all the people, like there's 30 on the board, like there's like 5 women. So I was excited, for talk about women in leadership. That's a
Right.
big, because when you do that, I feel like you're bringing a whole bunch of more women behind you to say that you can do that too. So I was honored to be asked to be the board chair for a year. It was a great year, about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Nice.
But this is my final year on the board.
On the
as a
board.
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So anyone out there watching, and like, how do they get in touch with you, and what would be the reasons they could get in touch with you? Like, are they thinking like, okay, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, I run a business. I run a medium-sized business. Like, what could you do for them? What any difficulties they're having?
So any difficulties they're having. So if you're hearing someone say, I can't get my team motivated,
Yep.
how do you manage a millennial?
Yep.
That's one of the questions that I'm asked
There's a
frequently.
lot of TED Talks on that, but they still don't make sense to me.
There is. And you don't manage millennials, you lead millennials. And that's a whole other topic.
It is.
That's a whole nother show, right?
We'll come back to that
talk about that whole show.
That would be very well watched show.
If you're stuck, if you want to make that shift, or someone who's in transition where they've started a career or they're aspiring to move into that leadership position, and how do I do that? Those are some of the things that I can help with, and I also do more small group trainings. We're actually doing one that's a small developing the leader within you, and then 15 laws of growth, because
Oh, wow.
growth is a consistent and intentional,
Ongoing.
never-ending process. And so having people kind of shift into, this is what I know and this is how I'm always going to be, being able to get into another group of like-minded people that are willing to take that step and understand what it's going to take to go to that next level. And it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
So
it
to have
is.
somebody with
Yes.
you and know that
Kind of like a cheerleader behind each other.
Yes.
You know, because
yeah.
maybe it's one step is intimidating for one, not the other.
Right.
Just like, nope, you can do this. You can get this done.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is-
and you do. You need that buddy to move forward.
It's kind of like me with exercise. I need a buddy to make me do it. Because if not, I won't.
Accountability, but in a good way.
Yes, exactly.
And you should to appreciate leaders. You know, sometimes you go every single day, you get into work, you just keep going, and like I kind of get in bed sometimes and close my eyes, like, wow, what an amazing, unbelievable staff I have. Did I really say thank you today? You know what I'm saying? Because you couldn't be in the type of care the children get every day, and they're running small businesses like their own school, and teachers and the mentors and everyone. It's like it's just to appreciate them, and I always think that I appreciate them enough. Do they get that message? You know, so you so want to let them know how appreciative you are of them.
And empowering, because everybody is a leader. Someone's always watching you.
Yeah,
So just
yeah.
remembering that leadership is really influence, and making sure that you're using that influence.
Yeah.
To right where you're at. You never know what you're going to say, or one positive word, or just even people are watching you all of the time. And for me, sometimes I'll have conversations where they'll say, "Oh, I saw what you did on Facebook," but they're never ever interacting. They're a
Yes, that's
spectator,
amazing. Yeah.
Right? But someone will come up and say, "Oh,
Yep.
that really helped me." So just be aware
Yep.
around you that everyone is a leader, and you always have the opportunity to
Yep.
make a difference right where you're at.
Yeah. Now, are you familiar with the governor's workforce grant? We could talk a little bit about that. It's a grant. It's the Department of Labor and Training Human Services has just rewritten the whole format. It's ongoing, so it's not like January to December. It's kind of on a rolling basis. And a business can write a grant. And Department of Labor and Training, if you're approved for a grant, which most of the time you are, training grants, consulting grants, the state of Rhode Island will pay for 50%, and the business pays for 50%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really good. I can explain all that to you. We just did it. You heard us talk about the college courses at
Yes.
Fisher. We put in for 3 college courses at Fisher, which is all training our staff. Now we have the professors come into our home office, and we have 20 women, 22 women. I wish we'd have more men too, but we're having for the women world. And they're getting, this will be the 3rd course they're taking, so they'll have 9 credits within like 9 months of the
Wow.
yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
the workforce grant is paying for 50% of that. So it takes it really helps to support the training and coaching and with your staff. It's amazing.
Yes.
And they're actually, they're doable. The grants are very doable online.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great to know. Thank
Yeah,
you
we'll
for
talk.
that.
Yeah, we'll talk
Yeah.
a little bit about that later.
That'll be
Give you more
wonderful.
information.
I think there's so much out there that you can
Yes.
access. It's just trying to find out where to start, because
Yes.
you know there's so much. It's almost like there's too much that you don't know the starting point.
Right.
And how, but once you get into it and dive into it, and you figure it out. So it's just finding someone that can help you start that,
the
especially with those resources that can be very helpful in the start of your consulting career.
Right.
So what advice would you give to like a brand new leader, someone who, I'll go from a child care perspective, you have 5 minutes left, like they now the director or they call administrator of a child care facility, and you got 20 staff and 50, 60 children. What do you say to that? What do you say to that leader? And it took a lot for her to get the confidence to step up to the plate to do that, or him.
That's really good. Well, first of all, congratulations for
Yeah.
taking the step, because stepping up is very scary. And brave at the same time. And I would say meeting one-on-one with every one of her staff, his or her staff, that direct report. Quick half-an-hour conversation, just so that you can understand, number one, what their strengths are, what they like to do, what they don't like to do, and understand what's going on in the background. So just that informal 30 minutes, tell me about you, tell me about your family, tell me about where you are, and really ask their opinion about what's working and what's not working.
Oh, great,
gives
because
them
they
that
do know what's working
yes.
and not working.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. And the second thing is just being an observer for a while. Now, when you've come up through and you're watching, and now you're the one who's responsible for everything that's going on,
Yep.
that's a shift.
Yes.
Making sure that you're delegating, making sure that you're using the team around you, and don't have don't have everybody who has the same strengths as you have, because now you've
Yes.
got a blind spot.
Yes.
Oh.
And you
yeah.
really want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who complement your strengths. That whatever I'm weak in, I need to make sure that I've got someone who's really, really good at it. And those are probably the two most effective things that I've done was, what's working, what's not working. And then don't come in and change everything.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Don't come in and change everything off the bat.
Do you have any people have come into me in my 45 years of my career want to change my logo? Honest to God, within a month, we're going to change your logo. We're going to change the color of your shirts. Like, no, let's start again. It's like, take sure. And when you explain to them what it took to even get that logo and to get the color of the shirts and the name in that print, it's amazing. But say that again. Just say that again.
Observe. Don't change everything off of the bat.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. Yeah. Create your vision. Because now you have the opportunity to create the vision, but you need to get buy-in. And until you get buy-in, you have to have trust. And cultivating that trust is really having that conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good point. Trust is huge.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Trust is the
huge.
foundation of any strong relationship.
Absolutely.
So when you have that trust with your colleagues, you have that trust with the people you oversee, it just builds a stronger foundation.
It does.
So if there is a bump, they feel like they can come to you and speak to you
Right.
versus being like, oh, I can't go speak to them because I don't trust them, which can be a very souring feeling for any employee with their supervisor. So
And I also like to say, simple as it seems, but no question is a stupid question. I'm just saying that. Just
Right.
ask it. We can get you to the next step if you ask it. And I think that's what, in my career, if I look back, and I've taught a lot of college and I do trainings, and the first thing I say is just ask the question. As the facilitator, it's my job to find out what you need and how to get there. So just ask the question. It's okay. You're not going to be judged. You're not going to be laughed at. And you're probably going to save yourself a lot of time so you can have more time with your family at the end of the day, because it's the information will get you to where you're going. I think that's constantly, I always say, I didn't want to ask that question. I thought it was stupid. No, ask the question.
No.
Do you find that a lot at times?
I do, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And it's okay. It's okay. And went back to the millennial thing. That's probably the biggest thing is they need to know that it's safe. It's safe to not know everything. It's okay to say, I really don't know. Let me get back to you.
Yeah.
you don't have to have the answer right there.
Right.
Wow.
Just know where to go get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And get
Know
the
where to
answer
go
and
get
follow
that.
it through.
And follow up. And follow up.
Amy, that's it. Follow it through. Get there and follow it through. Have closure. This is the answer.
Yes.
Very good point. Yes.
Well, you
I
could get
think-
the answer. If you don't share, it doesn't matter.
Right, exactly. It's true. You
You're
gotta
just like, I have
follow.
more information, but no one else has it.
Those are the questions I give when parents find my level. It's all they want that answer to that question. Usually it's that simple, follow through. I like that one, yeah. We probably have like 30 seconds. Anything you want to end with for the listening and watching audience?
I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you for being on the
to
show.
Be here
Yeah.
to talk about women in business. I love that we're here supporting positive relationships with
Yes,
women.
yes.
I agree.
Thank you for that.
Thank
Diane,
you.
Great guest, Diane. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.